question. The next question. Which is the most dangerous airport to land in the entire country? Any guess? The answer is right. Which is the most dangerous airport to land? Why? Paro International Airport in Bhutan is the most dangerous airport to land because it is a strip in between two mountains of 5,500 feet, and the length of that runway is about 1981 meters, which is hardly close to 2 kilometers. And there are only 8 pilots in this entire world who are trained to land in that runway. So with that, I would like to call upon Toastmaster DTM Jayan Narayanan for the education session.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be here, and that too with charter members sitting here. Pretty much when the president of the club was mentioning that there are a few dignitaries in the club, I thought probably he'll announce 2 or 3 names. Yeah, I think he announced everybody's name. That means that this club is full of dignitaries. That's a nice feeling. And I'm glad that I was part of that list. And the way he was reading, I thought I'll be missed out. Then thankfully he included my name as well. That's what I was just thinking. I was the area director in 2008, and Mendy Club was part of my area. And in those days, there were only 2 areas in Chennai. And I was one area director, another one was DTM Sastaram. And I still remember VNS sir was the president sir during that time. So fond memories. Indra Jairaj was also there. I remember as part of my area director's visit to the club, I had come here with a check shirt, and there was a report that went back to the district director saying that the area director came in a check shirt. Now, today if I look at clubs, I don't know what reports will go back. In fact, that time the fraternity was very strict. We are supposed to be in a tie. So, in fact, that's one reason I want to get out of the area directorship, because I couldn't wear ties, and I was against it. But a lot has changed. It's a new age Toastmasters that I see today. There's a lot of energy. But everything was good in its own way. Evaluation was also something which was different those days. We strictly followed a certain template, and we were very clear that we have to follow that template. Today, there are umpteen number of templates, and everybody is fine with that. So I'm here to just share my views on evaluation. The reason I kept the title as the evaluator's nightmare is any evaluator will succeed or fail. It depends on the test speaker. If the test speaker is not good, it's a nightmare for the evaluator. The reason is, in 2013, I was the district competition of evaluation. It was the finals. We were sitting in the first row, and there was this young lady from Sri Lanka who was a test speaker. That auditorium was too big, and the stage was also really big. And she appeared very tiny in the middle of the stage. Even though we were in the first row, it was as good as sitting 10th row here. We hardly heard what she was speaking, because it was a very emotional story that she was narrating. So she wanted to play with her voice modulation. So she went and stood there, and she said, she was lying there, her arms. And you should imagine the tension that these 10 contestants had first row. We were literally at the edge of the seat. What are you saying? And Rajesh Natarajan was sitting right next to me. He was profusely sweating. I was absolutely cool. I said, I'm not going to evaluate this, forget it. Apparently, there was a girl who cut her wrist and was committing suicide. And that's what she was narrating. We had no idea what she was narrating. And it was a story about her sister and her brother. And she had 2 complicated names for both of them. And imagine with this voice modulation, that complicated name comes out of her brother, Taresh. Do you even know what it is? Tarekeshwar. Tarekeshwar was lying there. feel sad for the whole thing, or just violently dejected. And there was a Sri Lankan sitting in the third seat. He was like, and then he's looking at all of us. All of us the same thing. Finally, you know what I'm doing? He just crushed the paper. Hell with it, I'm not even competing. We could hear. And all of us were taken to a separate room. I don't know what the rest 9 of them actually heard. I saw them busy preparing with all gestures and action like this, and I'm sitting with a blank paper. So I had no content at all, because out of the 6 to 7 minute speech, I hardly heard 2 or 3 minutes, but I understood the gist of the story. The gist is like this. She committed suicide because her parents were not focusing on her, they were focusing on her brother. So brother was given top priority at home, and it was kind of a sibling rivalry. Later she got to know why did the parents give the brother so much importance, because he was suffering from cancer. And when she got to know about it, she felt really bad about it, and then that is why she decided to commit suicide, and her friend comes and saves. And the story goes like that, and then finally she says empathy is very important. That's what the message. So all the 10 evaluators, I was the 8th one. So I didn't hear the previous 7, but I heard 9 and 10. And I heard from others that each one gave different names to the sister-in-law. Tarku, Tarike, Torpu, all these names happened. And we got to know the names only after the contest was over, because all of us rushed to her and said, what are the names? That was her only concern. And they all got the story wrong. And imagine when you get the story wrong, and you're giving suggestions how to improve for the next time. That was fantastic. One lady had a long list of recommendations. When I went there, I totally mocked at that speaker. I shouldn't have done that, but I was so furious. I was very hungry. It was 1:45 p.m. We took a break for lunch. And when they took us to the hall, we walked through the buffet counter. It was all set waiting for us, but these guys are not letting us go. I was so hungry, then I kind of related the whole thing to the buffet there. And somehow it worked, and I was surprised that I came first runner-up. You can imagine everything was booked up, even the judges didn't know who to give. And then they probably thought this guy is trying to do something different, so let's give him that award. So the test speaker makes all the difference. That's my learning from there. And it's very difficult for any contest master to choose the right guy. So the first advice is to the contest masters to choose the right person who can narrate a beautiful story. So that it makes life easy for the contestants. I'm sure all of so.
Can you give a context to the guest, what the contest is all about?
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Many guests are there.
Oh, many guests are there. How many of you guests here? I know you're already wondering what's happening. So that's what happens everywhere.
Your explanation was silent. Now, with sound, they are not able to understand.
Okay, otherwise they were able to understand what is fine. So, for the benefit of the guests, so thank you for bringing me to speak. Otherwise they'll be just wandering throughout the session. So we have, evaluation is very important, like the general evaluator was saying. Every speech will be evaluated. So we have contests every 6 months, and the upcoming contest is for humorous speech and evaluation. So there will be a test speaker who will come and speak, and the contestants are supposed to evaluate. And the judges, the hidden judges, will score them based on certain criteria from the ballot paper, and they decide who the winner is. So I am here to share my experience about how to contest in an evaluation contest. Did that make sense? All right, so okay, fine. So there are several formats. We all have evaluated. How many of you have never evaluated in your life? I'm sure all of you have got a chance to evaluate. Today our guinea pig is Ashwin. Okay, so we will collectively evaluate him. So I'll do my evaluation as part of the session. So if you like it, no problem. Okay, fine. There are several templates. There is no hard and fast rule that you need to follow a certain template. You have to be clear about that. I'm talking very specific to contests because evaluating at a club is definitely going to be different. So there is a famous technique to evaluate, which is the sandwich technique. So you praise the speaker, then try and tell what is not so great about the speech, and then again praise the speaker. So this is a very common format, so probably it's good to avoid when it comes to a contest. because pretty much rest all contestants are going to use this format. There are several other formats. You can have an acronym format. I remember when I was contesting in 2009, 2007, one speaker, one evaluator came and said, the contestant's name was Priya. I still remember. For me, the speech was full of Priya. We were like wondering, what is that? Then he said P for perfect, R for blah, then he went on like that. So that's a nice way to do. If you don't have proper content for each of the letters, please don't try this. It's very important. Just imagine the speaker is Tarakeshwar. I still remember I went to R.R. Donnelly and there was this lady evaluating a speech. The speaker's name was Sheshadri. And then she decided she would try this. So S for stupendous. And then she kept writing each letter on the board. Until she crossed 5 or 6 letters, we didn't know what was actually happening. Because we didn't know that she was forming that word Sheshadri. And then she wrote there, and then he was missing. And she didn't notice that also. And the audience sitting there just laughing, and she didn't know why they were laughing. So please be very careful. If it is a short name like Priya is still okay, 3-letter names you can try, but it should make sense for the speech. Now, every judge will hold a ballot. There are 3 important sections in that ballot. One is analysis, the second is recommendation, third is summary. Whatever you do as an evaluator on stage is fine, but do not forget to utter these 3 words. Utter. The moment you come here, say, let me analyze your speech. Immediately the judge will look at the ballot, analyze, tick. Somewhere in between, let me give you recommendations, tick. Let me give you summary, tick. At least 3 ticks he'll put. If you miss the word summary and still go ahead and give summary, if the judge doesn't know that you're giving a summary, then you lose out. Many times I've noticed, as a judge also, I've been very particular about listening to these 3 words. So please use these 3 words. Whatever I'm saying here is not from a manual. It is my own views. I might be wrong, but I'm just telling you what worked for me as a judge and also as an evaluator. So these 3 aspects are very important. Typically, when a speech is over, when you come here, you're expected to analyze and give your report of the speech and not the speaker. Ideally, you're not even supposed to mention the name of the speaker. You're supposed to say the speaker did this. So that is when it looks like you are analyzing the speech and not the speaker. So this is very important. We used to follow this in those days. These days, things have changed. Now, what you're supposed to do when you come here as an evaluator is tell people what you heard, what you saw, what you felt. It's very easy to put them in certain brackets and then stuff them with some content. What you heard, what you saw, what you felt. Any speech will have some kind of an impact on the audience, and that is what we are supposed to mention. Now, I follow a template which kind of works. I'll probably share that with you. The very first thing that you come and utter is in one line what you felt about the speech. Sorry, impact. Impact, absolutely. The impact on you as an individual. Also, you're not evaluating on behalf of the audience, you're evaluating on behalf of you. Whatever you're saying is your personal opinion. You can't say, the audience felt you were a little hurried. No. The audience doesn't agree with you. Right? So you got to tell it's my view. So first is the impact in one line. The other day, Vijay and I were taking a session at Verizon. We had a very interesting discussion with the audience. So we were just, in fact, Vijay was asking, all of you would have seen movies. So which is your favorite movie? Tell me what you felt about that movie in one line. Right? Any examples? Name of the movie and what you felt about that movie in one line.
Guna and empathy.
Guna, empathy. Perfect. Right. Any language, any movie in one line. It's not necessarily a one word.
Vishwarupam and Kamal Hassan's action.
Vishwarupam,
Kamal
Hassan's action. Okay.
Spirited Away, this is a movie I saw morning. It's an anime movie. Happiness.
Happens.
Yes.
How many of you have seen that movie? None of
I
us,
don't
right?
think anyone
We have
will
no
know.
clue what you're saying. Okay, we'll agree what you're
Yeah,
saying.
it's an
So
anime
many
movie.
things. What was the one-line thing?
Happens.
Okay. If we don't tell, we think the spirited thing happens. Is the name of the movie.
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
Yeah.
And he says it happens.
Yeah, it
Something
was-
happens.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, great. Yeah.
Got
Imaika Nodigal Nayana's attitude.
Imaika Nodigal, Nayanthara's attitude, fantastic.
Vinay Thandi Varuvaya, romance.
Vinay Thandi Varuvaya, romance. Okay.
Tamil Padam 2 collection of movies.
Collection of movies. Okay.
Godfather, script.
Godfather, gripping. Okay.
Queen,
Villain.
Queen.
Queen. Okay.
Rani, this I think it was called Rani in Hindi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a Hindi film
Yeah.
and conveyed a very important social message.
Social message. Yes. Correct. Yeah. Anything else?
Sound of music.
Sound of music? Yes.
Joy.
Joy, absolutely. Yeah. Imagine a 2.5 hour, 3 hour, 1.5 hour movies. We are able to concise them and tell in one word what that movie feels. A 7-minute speech, I think it is very easy. Right? So in that day when we were taking this session, many people gave many things. Okay, they talked about Telugu movie also. So some of them in the audience didn't understand. One lady said rhythm. There's a Tamil movie called Rhythm. So her explanation of that rhythm was, if your wife runs away, you'll get another lady. Look at the impact. And finally, after almost 40 minutes when I was taking a session, I said during the evaluation session, there were so many movies discussed, which is still lingering in your mind. Rhythm. So humor definitely works, and there is no rule that you should not use humor in evaluation. I see many evaluators being very strict, very strict. Please make it a little light, add humor if possible, because this is a 3.5 minute speech. It has an opening, body, conclusion. You're actually delivering a speech. You can have humor, you can have gestures, action, everything. So, but many people fail to induce humor. Please induce humor in evaluation. That's another suggestion that I have. Never give advices, because you know Socrates, right? He's a famous philosopher. His only job was to roam around and advise people. Later people poisoned him. So don't give advice, give suggestions. It's left to people to take it or not. So first, when you come here as an evaluator, the very first thing you say is, what is your one-line impact or description about that speech? For example, Ashwin's speech. What is that one line you can give as an evaluator? Okay,
Good transition is there.
Action packed.
Action packed, yes. There was a very thrilling moment at 1:30 a.m.
Midnight mania.
Midnight mania, midnight masala. This was also some masala only. Okay, midnight mania, right? Okay. How do you say in one line that speech was?
Dramatic experience.
That speech gave me a dramatic experience. Okay.
Unexpected raid.
Unexpected raid. Okay.
Raid.
Raid, R-A-I-D?
R-A-I-D.
Unexpected raid. So if you were to come and comment on that speech, what would you say?
Twist and turns.
That speech was full of twists and turns. Okay. Anything else?
It was a midnight drama.
That speech was
Midnight drama.
a midnight drama. Okay. If you have to put it in a different way,
The feeling of
that one
bachelor.
line.
The feeling of bachelor. Like
The feeling of a bachelor life. So that speech gave me the feeling of a bachelor life. So that is how you need to tell the very first line. And you need to construct it in such a way that it is very clear. Next you get on to the analysis mode. Many people don't understand what analysis means. They will say, you said you went and slept. That was nice. You said you had mutton biryani. That was nice. You said 1:30 they knocked and you. That was also nice. No, that is not analysis. Like repeating the text and then saying, so never repeat any content of the speech. Very important, never repeat. But tell your analysis in such a way that how all it worked in conveying the purpose of the speech. Every speech has got a purpose. So the next thing that you need to tell is, my understanding of the purpose of the speech was this. So what was the purpose of the speech? Probably what you said is actually the purpose of the speech. What was the purpose of the speech?
Being bachelor is so difficult.
Bachelor's?
Lady in bachelor.
Bachelor's study, man, okay.
Vocal variety.
So you need to give the audience what you understood was the purpose of the speech. I think that's the next part of it. And you can go ahead and define it further by saying how all the speech met that purpose according to you. Storytelling was definitely a purpose because any storytelling will have to have 3 C's: character, content, and conflict. So if I have to analyze his speech, I would certainly tell there was a gripping story in the speech. And the purpose was meant by narrating that gripping story. And any story should have 3 C's: content, character, and conflict. Content, yes, there was a smooth flow of incidents, one after another, sequentially. Characters, yes, there were 4 friends, there were cops, and there was a North Indian suspect. And there was the conflict. Conflict was at exactly 1:30 a.m. that banged on the door, which nobody expected. That was a twist. So if you can relate any story with these 3 C's, you will be able to analyze the speech a little better, and you can go ahead and further explain these 3 C's depending on how much time you have, depending on how much content you have to talk about that. Then immediately jump into the recommendations. Recommendations is very clear. So how do we improve the speech so that it is even further gripping? We understand that it is a gripping story because that's your first line. It's a very gripping story. But how do we make it more gripping, compelling in terms of story and also the message? So recommendations. What are the recommendations that you have for me?
Number 1 is eye contact with the audience, so slightly missing.
Eye contact was slightly missing. Okay.
Don't keep a barking dog and get bark.
Don't
Keep a barking dog and bark.